Good morning, class. I hope you guys are enjoying your time doing some distance learning and that you had a great spring break. It was interesting to me to see so many students who were contributing to discussions and working on things over the weekend. Props to you guys for really jumping in and being excited about being able to do these activities and trying to get your work done. I'm sincerely hoping that the amount of work I've given to you over these past few days hasn't been too much, and that you've been able to learn some things and hopefully have some fun with it. So today we're talking about the stop motion assignment. I've had a few students that have asked some questions about, well, how do we do it, and what does it involve, and how's it supposed to work. So hopefully, as you've gone through the PowerPoints that I gave you about animation, you've learned that stop motion animation, and any animation really, is an illusion of movement. And so the things aren't actually moving, it's just looking like they're moving. And so, in all reality, all of film is like this, as I kind of mentioned in my description for these assignments. What it does when you film is it's recording and taking a whole bunch of pictures all at once. And depending on the camera, it can take anywhere from 1,000 pictures a second to 24 to 30 pictures per second. And then when you play it back, it just shows you those pictures at the rate of 1 second for every however many frames it is that you recorded at. And in fact, when you slow things down, if you get a high-speed camera that takes like 1,000 frames per second, then you can play those frames over at a slower rate than you recorded them, so it looks like things are going in slow motion when you actually recorded them in regular time. Really great example of this is OK Go did a music video called, I believe it's called This Moment, and so they start off and they film like 3 seconds worth of stuff in the beginning of the film, and you see it, and it's really quick, and all kinds of things blow up, and paintballs go flying, and all these things happen. And then they take that same footage and they slow it down, and you can see they pretty much go through an entire song that they wrote. It's like 3 minutes long, and it shows you all of the events that happened in those like 3 seconds that they recorded. So anyway, off to the assignment at hand, stop motion. And so stop motion is a fairly popular form of animation. In fact, a lot of today's movies that we think are stop motion are actually computer animated movies. The Lego movie, for example, came out a few years ago, and they made it, and they wanted it to look like it was stop motion, where they just had a bunch of Lego figures that they were kind of moving and getting to do these different things. It actually wasn't, but the way that they animated it, it kind of looked like it was. And so what you're doing is you're creating a scene, and you're just taking a whole bunch of pictures, and in between each picture you're moving parts of the scene very slowly. So I posted a couple of examples of these that students have done in the past on the on Canvas. In fact, I'm going to show you another example here because I'm showing you how to zip a folder. So this group here, as you see, they found this nice big cardboard box from a scroll saw that I got in the shop, and they made it into like a little race car. And so the key to a good stop motion film is the camera has to stay in the same place. The only thing that moves is the subject at hand. So the person or the people who are being animated are the things that move. And so, as you can see, this race car, she kind of went out the window and got dumped out of the box. So that's what you want to do, is you want to keep the camera still, and if you turn the camera, that's fine, but you need to make sure that as you turn, you're doing it slow motion, smooth motion as you're taking these pictures. And that's one of the reasons as well I encouraged you to do kind of a planning sheet to kind of map out what it is that you were going to do, what was going to be animated. And another thing to keep in mind is try to incorporate some of those principles of animation that you learned about last time in this stop motion animation. So squash and stretch, or ease in and ease out, or exaggeration or staging, those different things. Try to keep those in mind as you're creating this stop motion film. So once you have all your pictures, and this as well can be rather difficult. I had a student who asked me, well, how do I get my pictures onto the computer? That's something that you are going to need to figure out. If you have an Android phone, oftentimes Android phones, you can just plug right into the computer and you can access the phone directly. DCIM will most of the time give you access to those pictures. If you have an Apple phone, they tend to be a little more difficult. On an Apple computer, you can use Photos. When you plug in your phone and you sync up your phone, it'll automatically put all those photos into the Photos app on the computer. Believe you can get Photos for a Windows-based computer as well to try to get those. You also can go to iCloud.com and kind of log in and then download the pictures as well if you have your phone set up where it can store some of those pictures on the cloud. Other methods include emailing them to yourself. You can do that and then download the emails. Just remember, though, that emailing them to the Granite SD email address is not going to work. You're going to have to email it to an address that's outside of Granite District. So if your parents have a Gmail account or a Yahoo or even a Hotmail account, you can email those photos to yourself. I'm just giving you instructions once you get those photos, how to be able to create a zip drive so that you can submit it for the assignment. Because as much as I love you guys, I don't want you to have to worry about uploading every single individual photo to Canvas. I also don't want to have to go through every single individual photo and download all of them. I just want to download your zip folder, and I'll go through and just make sure that you've done the animation correctly. So, once you get your photos on the computer, you're going to put them into a file folder like this. So this particular application, if you look, let me move this down here. There we go. Okay. So down here on your taskbar, you can see this little folder thing. That's the kind of file explorer that you're going to use. And so once you click that, it's going to pull up this this window here that I'm looking at. So once you get your photos on the computer, you just click this little thing, pulls up your file explorer and gives you all kinds of different locations on the computer that you can access. So you need to figure out when you get it onto the computer, where are you going to put it so that you can access it later. So you're going to click on wherever it is that you've put those pictures. In my case, it's on my flash drive. So you can see up here my flash drive. This was 2015-16 school year. My communications class, stop motion movies, race car is this particular group. So to create a zipped folder, all you have to do with all of the pictures inside of that one folder that you've created. So you're going to take this folder and right click on it. And then in all of the options that you're given here, you're going to go to send to, and then down here it says compressed zipped folder. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all of those files and put them together and compress them into one folder, and it's going to be like one file, and that's the file that you can send to Canvas. So I would rename the folder as something like Mr. Twining's stop motion, or Mr. Twining's pics, or my awesome stop motion movie, or something like that. And that's what you're going to submit to Canvas. So on here, we'll say race car, we'll say Mr. T stop motion. And then in Canvas, what I'm going to do for that assignment, let me get to student view really quick, and I'll show you how to submit that assignment. So we go to student view. And so then we're going to click on stop motion short film. Hopefully you've already turned in principles of animation. And as soon as that decides, it's going to pull up here. We go to submit assignment. We're going to choose my file. And this might take a little while because if you've taken a lot of pictures, it's going to be slow. So if you remember, I was in 2015-16, not 16-17. So I need to find the right place for my folder in communications, stop motion movies, and lo and behold, there's my Mr. T stop motion. And so as you can see, that's 22 megabytes. It's going to take a little bit of time to upload that. So when you click open, you're going to have to wait a little bit when you hit submit for it to actually go through. So thanks so much for making it to the end of this video. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Remember a couple of other quick announcements before you head out. Number one, I've updated all the grades for third quarter, so please make sure you double check in Portal your third quarter grade. If you're happy with it, then great. If you're not happy with it, then please contact me and let me know what we can do to help you improve your grade to where you want it to be. Secondly, as you notice, today is PJ Day. If you looked at my announcement, this week is Spirit Week, and I would love to see some pictures of you guys. We're trying to put together a Spirit Week page in the yearbook, which we're trying to turn in by Friday. Also, just kind of participation, put stuff on the website of students in quarantine or during the dismissal and what they're doing, self-isolation. So send us some pictures of stuff that you've been doing. If you took any pictures earlier this week, we had Crazy Sock Day on Monday, and Tuesday was What You're Reading Day. So take a picture of what you're reading. And then today, of course, is PJ Day. Tomorrow is Thank a Teacher Day, so write a note to your favorite teacher. And then on Friday, it's School Spirit Day. So I hope to see some people wearing some school colors and school paraphernalia and all that good stuff. So thanks so much, guys. Really miss you. Hope you're having fun with animation. And don't hesitate to email me or message me if you need additional help.